Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be presenting today at the Soft Landing Expo. And I'm here to present to you the 5 most common mistakes that we've seen founders make when expanding into the US market. My name is Frances Simowitz, and I'm the CEO and Managing Director of NUMA New York. We have a soft landing program that helps late-stage international entrepreneurs expand to the US market. So NUMA, our tagline is work your way because we believe in empowering both entrepreneurs and managers and individuals with the skills they need to navigate work. So a bit about us before we dive in. We are a very international organization ourselves with headquarters in Paris and New York City. We are comprised of networks of business experts and experienced designers. We work on digital work cultures for both individuals, startups, and corporate teams. And we believe in digital first, real world, and community-driven experiences. And we bring that to our Soft Landing Accelerator program. So we work with many major corporate clients from all over the world and connect them to our startup portfolio. We've trained over 10,000 managers worldwide, accelerated over 600 startups across the globe, and we have over 500 coaches and mentors internationally. Now in New York, we've accelerated over 50 startups. That's closer to 60 now. And these are all late-stage companies literally coming from all over the globe. And so to get to our presentation, we have seen many different entrepreneurs go through this experience. And so I'm very excited to share with you the 5 most common mistakes that we've seen founders make in their journey to enter the US market. First and foremost, timing is everything. And so expanding too soon, or sometimes even too late, can definitely be an issue. And so a few things to consider in terms of timing is your capital. Do you have enough capital to actually make this work? Ask other entrepreneurs, how much did it cost for them to expand? Research how much legal costs will be. What is housing and living? Where are you going to be setting up your headquarters? Is that in New York? Is that on the coast? Is it in Colorado and other places that have other advantages in terms of capital? A lot of founders will actually raise either a bridge round or put as part of their Series A or their Series B that they are going to use it specifically for US market expansion. And so being really thoughtful about how and where you'll be spending that capital is going to be really critical in terms of your success. The other is structuring the team for focus. So we've seen oftentimes entrepreneurs, have the ambition of coming to the US, and many entrepreneurs will make the mistake of thinking that they can do it all. And so it's really important that as you're focusing on a new market, that you can be 100% focused, or maybe 90% focused on that effort. And so putting in people that you trust to be in senior level positions to run the day-to-day with the team at home will allow you to focus, whether that be 3 to 6 months, on the new market and really making sure that this new venture is successful in the US. Another mistake that we've often seen is not really doing the proper research. I had actually worked for a company years ago that expanded internationally too soon. We were in the education space. And when they expanded to Europe, actually opposite from the US, they made the assumption without doing research that in Europe, people would actually pay for education, which is very different, as education often doesn't cost the same as it does in the US. And so the model just didn't work there and wasted a lot of money and time, where if they had done better research and benchmarking first, they would have been in a better position. So benchmark. Take a look at your competitors, have some conversations with customers or venture capitalists in the US to understand, does this business even make sense here? What are my competitors charging? How many people how many competitors are there? And then also finding lean ways to test. So when you are making the decision of, will this or won't this be the correct market for me? There are ways that you can start some marketing campaigns, start talking to potential customers. If you're able to close a deal or get an LOI signed, it's a really good indication that this might be the right market for you. Another thing to consider is that a lot of countries will do missions or trade missions to the US, oftentimes a week long, where they'll set up some meetings for you and organize some, educational sessions so that you can start to understand, is this potentially the right market for me, or should I go elsewhere? Another big mistake that we see is in hiring and team development. And as you know, as an entrepreneur or a business leader, that your employees and your team make up a lot of what you're able to achieve and your success. So many companies come to us with the question on, do I hire someone senior and have, for example, a head of business development or, a head of operations for the US. And oftentimes I will say that, many of our companies are looking specifically for hiring business here and keeping the tech elsewhere, which I also recommend you do. But in terms of seniority, a lot of times it's not the right move to hire somebody senior right off the bat. Sometimes those people will have, a perception of what the right way is to do things, won't necessarily understand fully the ins and outs of your business. And so a lot of times the better strategy is to actually go with someone junior, like a SDR, a sales development representative, over, a director of sales at first. And having the founder really spend the time to figure out the market, to be the sales leader. And no one's going to pitch your company better than you will in the beginning. And so generate those leads, try to close some leads. And then when you are ready to hire a senior person to take over the business, you'll have the playbook. You'll know what works, what doesn't work, what sales pitch resonates, what is the value proposition for the US, what is the pricing structure. And to that point, don't have that person figure all of those things out for you. Again, like, you are going to be the best person to sell it to start. It's a leaner way to begin. And so it'll, really making sure you can focus and prepare for that senior hire, it would be the best way to do it to start. 4, not updating your processes and strategies. So for example, in terms of strategies, we've seen a lot of companies in their home market will, have big clients and big leads and deals, but they've never put in a actual strategy on lead generation or proper sales processes. They've relied heavily on referrals because they have network and relationships there. And so really taking a step back and saying, okay, what are the strategies we can put into place that are going to be repeatable and more scalable in the new market? This is the time to do that. Also find communities and networks like, for example, NUMA, or, some of the other maybe soft landing experts that you're meeting during this conference, to support you and have them have trusted network that they can support with. But really honing in on that strategy is going to make you much more successful in the long term. And also know that one size doesn't fit all. You may have already expanded into other markets already in Europe, or maybe you've already expanded into Latin America. The US is a different market, and so you almost have to behave again as though you are an early stage startup in the process of testing and iteration and not being afraid to fail. There are going to be things that don't work, and taking the feedback and taking a step back to really understand, okay, what is this market? What does this market need in terms of its playbook and its strategy? And not assuming that what worked elsewhere is going to work here is the best way to go about it. Don't worry, we got you. So, you're here at this conference, you're here to meet partners that are looking to help you expand. Finding the right communities and networks is going to be critical. And having people that are helping you, make the right decisions is going to set you up for success. You got this. And if you would like to chat with us further or have any more questions about what we do, or if we can be supportive in helping you make those decisions and avoid some of those mistakes, we're happy to chat. You can bring our program manager, Shai, at shai.t@numa.co, and we'd be happy to speak with you. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.